Hello and welcome back to the Film Custodian Show. I am the Film Custodian and I am back in the garage after a long day's work cleaning up crap in the theater. Gum and popcorn and, just nasty stuff like that. Your foot sticks to the floor. I'm sure you've all experienced it at some point, right? You're going through, it might be dark in the theater itself, in the movie theater. This is a movie theater and you're walking through the aisles and it's like I could work that in somehow to my Rings of Power Episode 3 review, but I can't really think of it at the moment. I don't know. Maybe they're throwing everything at the wall and seeing if it sticks. I don't know. That kind of sucks. Okay, so the Rings of Power Episode 3. Let's do a quick recap of episode 1 and 2. So, and spoilers. You kind of can't review any of this without spoiling a lot of stuff. So if you're okay with spoilers, minor spoilers, major spoilers, I'm not, I'm just going to kind of go with the flow. So The Rings of Power, episode 1 and 2. So let's recap really quick. The Harfoots, one of them broke his foot. The main girl, Nori, her father broke his foot. And then she found Meteorite Man. Everyone's like, oh, he might be Sauron. I think, or he might be Gandalf. Well, Gandalf doesn't show up until the Third Age, so they wouldn't be following the source material. But, they're not following the source material anyway, so it might be Gandalf. I really don't think it's Sauron, because this guy is Sauron. I don't know, is this just a red herring? Does anybody not remember the photos of this guy dressed up in the white robe and everything? And look at his staff. His staff clearly has the Eye of Sauron right in the middle there, which is going to eventually show up when the Tower of Barad-dûr is built, and it's up there in the middle in between the two spikes, right? That's the Eye of Sauron. So clearly that's Sauron, right? Unless that's just his beautiful form, but then why would he show up as a tall, giant meteorite guy wasting his time with the Harfoots? Because the Harfoots are a waste of time. Anyway, and then Galadriel was just insufferable in the first 2 episodes. She quickly kills a troll, which I'm going to say something really quick, too, because I was thinking a lot about this. In the Fellowship of the Ring, you have the Fellowship, and they basically, it takes all of them in order to defeat the troll, right? When he attacks, the troll comes at them in the Mines of Moria. It takes all of them. In this, pretty much everybody, all of her, elite elves, they just get blown away, and then she comes in, does that dumb, jump thing, which I don't understand this big fascination with all the characters jumping all the time. What is this, we gotta jump. It's just corny, it's dumb, it's a very, it just makes your whole thing cheap and corny. It just doesn't belong in any show, really. It's in the CW a lot. A lot of people are calling this, what if you gave a CW show $1 billion? And yeah, I agree, to a certain extent. But yeah, so she jumps up and then, kills the troll, which also, I had another thought about that. Aragorn, in the Return of the King, right, after he goes through his whole hero's journey, his reluctant hero's journey, right, from Fellowship of the Ring, the Two Towers, and now we're at the end of Return of the King, and he has to fight a troll at the end, right? They're at the Black Gate, it's the last battle right there. This is a proper challenge for Aragorn at this point, right? Because he's gone through so much training, etc., and now he's going to fight this troll. And even then, he doesn't kill the troll. The troll was going to kill him. It overpowered him. And really, when you look at the 2 trolls together, they're about the same size. And then you just have Galadriel just kill it, and then it's dead. That's empowerment right there, baby! So this is episode 3, called Adair, I think? Or Adair? I don't know. Anyway, there's a decent story in here, and I think I may have found it, at least anything that I'm interested in. It's just it's the story of Arendir, I think I'm saying that correctly. The elf that's trapped in the Southlands, and the Southlands themselves are being terraformed into Mordor, right? So he's taken a slave, they're all kind of slaves, all the different elves and people around and kids, and they're like, okay, start digging the holes, and, we're going to turn this into Mordor, rah! I will say that the orcs look pretty cool. I think that they said they were going to go for kind of like the orcs are young, so it's almost like they have very kind of soft skin. It's a little more like light colored. They are more susceptible to the sunlight. They can't be in the sunlight. And just the kind of overall look that they have with sort of the browns and white stuff. Kind of looks pretty neat. Yeah, I'll give them credit where credit's due. It's pretty neat. So I kind of found the story. I don't think the writers have found the story, because certainly if you look at the trailers for The Rings of Power, it was pretty much just, oh hey, look, here's a picture. Here's a nice picture of some stuff, right? Here's Middle Earth, right? And then the trailers themselves, especially the first two trailers, it was just, here's the Second Age, and here's some stuff in the Second Age. It wasn't even until the third trailer that we got kind of any indication of what the story was going to be about, what the show was going to be about, and it was just, I have to take up my brother's cause and kill evil, or something, and that was about it. So far, I guess the trailers didn't lie, because really this is just, here's some Second Age stuff, here's the Second Age, and we still can't find the story. Also, I wonder if sort of the changing the Southlands into the land of Middle Earth, if that's in the books at all. Because remember, they don't have the rights to the Silmarillion. They don't have the rights to the Silmarillion. They just have the rights to the books, to the Fellowship of the Ring, Two Towers, Return of the King, the Appendices, and the Hobbit, right? So if this could be their own thing, I don't know. That's kind of neat. But so back to this scene where you have the elves captured and everyone has to kill the trees and all this stuff. There was, I don't know, there was always some little hints here and there that something could be kind of getting interesting, and then it was just ruined by something really stupid. So that brings me to the action, which was just really corny. They're kind of flipping around and grabbing the chains and throwing them around, and everyone, and you could say, like, oh, well, Legolas, he was surfboarding on the shield in the Two Towers, or jumping up on the Mumakil up in, Return of the King, and it's like, well, yeah, I'm not really even a fan of that. I think the surfboard thing was okay. I think in the Two Towers he also kind of did the flip onto the horse. Okay, fine, but yeah, I wasn't even a huge fan of when he took down the huge Oliphant. I wasn't really a fan of that. And then, of course, you get to the Hobbit, and he's flipping all over the place, right? He's flipping on, barrel to barrel to barrel, and then in the Five Armies, he's in slow motion stepping on the steps. In slow motion, he just becomes a Jedi. It's really stupid. So I've never been a fan of that aspect. And they're doing it here to kind of it's a little bit more tame, but it's annoying. It's like, why do you need this slow motion? Oh, and that was the other thing too. Then he was dodging stuff. It's got to be in slow motion. And it's just, no, slow motion used incorrectly just cheapens your film. It makes it corny. Speaking of slow motion, when Galadriel is riding the horse, no. What were you thinking? It's very unflattering. What were you doing? Speaking of Galadriel, she goes into Numenor. I thought Numenor was pretty well done, actually. I think that they're kind of going for like an Atlantis type of thing, which people said that was kind of Tolkien's original vision anyway. I thought Isildur's father, Elendil, I thought he was pretty good. In kind of a Hallmark father kind of way, the Hallmark movies where it's just, well, son and, well, daughter, and you've been accepted into college, and it's like, okay, yeah, fine, whatever, but it was just, I don't know, he's okay. Oh yeah, and then speaking of, since we're here at Numenor now, you have Halbrand, right? Oh hey, you're the king. What do you mean? Oh, he's the heir to the king of the Southlands now. Oh, that came out of nowhere. And then at the end, they're kind of in a cell, and Galadriel's like, oh, she's like, so it was he. Well, he's just like, well, I'm not the hero you're looking for, right? He's like, I'm not the hero you're looking for because my people fought with Morgoth. And then she goes, well, my people started the war to begin with. What? What do you mean? What do you mean? Was that a twist? Is that... So maybe together we can get redemption. Oh, so it's not about revenge anymore, now it's about redemption. So again, it's like the writers can't find the story, they can't find it. And it makes it where I really don't care. And it's like, well, that was unexpected, so now it's all about redemption. Okay, so that's her story now, fine. But I guess that's a little bit better than, the unbitchification of one Galadriel from the lands of Lothlorien. Because up to now, yeah, she's just angry and mean to everybody. And it's like, why? Yeah, that's empowerment right there, baby, being a bitch. Next thing you have is the, well, then there was this fight scene that Halbrand has with a couple guys after he steals from them. So he's a thief. Oh, but he's sort of he's a suave thief, you know, like, oh, drink on me, lads, a drink on me. Like, you're not Errol Flynn. Stop trying to do the Errol Flynn thing. It's like, whatever that guy's name is, the minstrel in The Witcher, where he is playing, he is doing an interpretation, or rather an impression of Michael Scott from The Office. That's what he's doing. He said so himself. And if you really look at it, that's it. It's Michael Scott, which is, he's great, he's funny, but not as like, you know, this minstrel kind of guy, whatever. And it's like, it's the same thing Halbrand is doing. It's almost like he's doing a Michael Scott kind of thing, where he's trying to be charming and, well, you know, I'm charming and I'm Errol Flynn. Like, no, you're not. Just stop doing that. I found that incredibly annoying. If you want to have like the, you know, the guy who's, I'm the swashbuckler. Well, that's fine. That's great. We need more of that. But not in that way where it's like, it's almost a parody of it. I don't know. Maybe I'm not explaining it properly. Just don't do that. It just really annoys the crap out of me. All right, so what does that leave us with? That leaves us with the Harfoots. Yeah. So Meteorite guy stumbles around. Oh, they reveal that he's here, and he's here now. Who cares? I don't know why they're there though. I think they're there because they thought, well, the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit was about hobbits, so we have to bring in, you know, these earlier versions of hobbits. Which, making her a Brandyfoot, I believe, that's somehow they're going to try to connect her to Frodo's ancestry. Which, why? It's not good or bad. It's just kind of stupid. So back to one of my main issues with this thing is the lack of a main story. Because like I said, there really isn't one. Galadriel's out for revenge, or maybe she's out for redemption, I don't know. And then there's all these B plots, C plots. You know, you have the Harfoots as like a C plot. You have your B plot, which is, you know, Arondir, or I'm probably saying the name wrong, but whatever. He's the elf guy in the Southlands. That story I'm actually kind of interested in. And then, you know, the Harfoots, and then who else? Oh, yeah, well, Galadriel, right. She's supposed to be the, you know, the A story, but it's not. That's very much like a B story. There is no main story. So I kept thinking about this, and I was like, well, okay, you have let's look at the Hobbit, right? So you have the main story of the Hobbit, which is all the dwarves are trying to get to Erebor to reclaim their kingdom that has been taken by the dragon Smaug. They need to kick him out, kick Smaug out, take back their kingdom, take back their gold. That's the main story. Around that is B plots and C plots, right? Other stuff happening. So the B plot is, or Gandalf dealing with the possible rise of Sauron, right? Sounds kind of familiar because that's what Galadriel's doing, right? Sauron might be coming back, which he did over and over and over again in Middle-earth. So well, maybe, you know, the evil is back. The evil might be back. Maybe, I don't know. Like, that's a good B plot. Because so far it just doesn't work as the A plot. It doesn't work as the main story, right? So, but it works with Gandalf going on his journey, on his adventures. That's the B plot, you know, is that there might be something bigger happening besides just the journey of Bilbo and the dwarves. There's something bigger going on. That could be Sauron's return. You have the Fortress of Dol Guldur and all those adventuring. That's great. But that's not the main plot. You can't make the whole movie, you know, Gandalf's adventures. But even that would be more interesting than whatever Galadriel's trying to do. So, I don't know. So then it finally gets interesting. Where they're all, you know, our dear, or what, you know, whatever. And then at the end, you see this kind of guy kind of come up in slow motion. He's out of focus, and I'm like, oh, is that Sauron maybe? And then they cut. So it got interesting right at the end. Right at the end, I was fully invested. Who is this guy? Is that Sauron actually? Was all the guy in the robe a red herring? Was the guy with the staff a red herring? I don't know. So anyway, all in all, this was just a very, mediocre episode. I don't know. I kind of had to drag myself over to the TV to watch it anyway. I kept forgetting that it was even out. So it's just a big slog. Oh yeah, and a lot of the green screen effects are kind of crappy. Yeah, and what is with the direwolf, or not the direwolf? That's Game of Thrones. What's up with the warg, right? The wolf. You look at the one from the two towers 20 years ago, almost 20 years ago, and you look at the modern one, you know, and it's like, why does it look worse? CGI has only gotten worse, and I think the cause of that is just because everything has to have loads and loads of CGI, so that all these CGI companies can't keep up with it, maybe, or because it's like an assembly line, so now you're kind of getting cheaper versions of CGI, quick and easy CGI. It's not something that they spend hours and, you know, months and years on. I don't know. Well, if you like my rantings, please like and subscribe. I very much appreciate it. It doesn't cost you anything, and please share the video. Spread the video around to your friends. All right. See you later. What are you talking about? This is great. We're in space.